welcome to I think this is episode 5 of Shrink Wrapped. So we're having a little bit of a different format this time. In the past, we've tried to do sort of rapid fire questions at me. This time, we're going to try and just have more of an open conversation about these different topics. I feel like historically it's been just me responding, and I don't think you're saying enough. So hopefully you'll be more involved and we have more of an equal conversation.
Okay. Because I think I have a lot to say.
Okay, good. That's good. That's good. So my name is David Colorosi. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy, PhD in counseling and psychology. This is my wife, Allison. You want to talk a little bit about yourself?
I'm married to a psychologist, and I have 2 kids.
What better thing? What else is there?
Well, that's fun. I have 2 kids, and I work full time. So, okay. So we're gonna talk about questions that come up a lot in, I would say, psychology, popular psychology, and in therapy, with the expert. And I'm gonna weigh in with my unbiased opinion.
Okay, I have a news. Can we start by talking about the news?
Okay.
So I just posted a video. So this will come out in a few days. So on Tuesday I posted a video about Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm not sure if you've even seen the video yet, but Jada Pinkett Smith, who was married to Will Smith, got caught in an entanglement that she had 4 years ago with August Alsina, who is a hip hop artist. And so the Twitter world is ablaze with people debating, is this a good thing for their relationship? Is it a bad thing for their relationship? Do they really have a healthy relationship? And so I'm curious, what do you think about that kind of, it feels like in the media you have these couples. So Rachel Hollis was the first couple that I talked about on doing the vlogs. But you have these couples like the Smiths who constantly talk about how they have these perfect relationships. And then it comes out that they have, they were separated, things were going downhill, Jada needed to found herself with a guy that was half her age. Do you have any thoughts about it?
Well, they are beautiful people. I mean, I bet they get a lot of attention. So I'm just going to start that. But I do think, they're just, even though they happen to be genetically blessed, I feel like they probably go through all the same things that normal couples go with, but they have the privilege of having the media attention on them always, and I feel like that they probably couldn't share what was really happening in their relationship because they're surrounded by the media.
But what I don't understand is why do these public figures feel the need to put their relationship front and center? Why do they have to brag about it? I get it that you're not going to always have a perfect relationship and things are difficult. I get it. What I don't get is why does Jada need to come out, whatever it is, once a quarter at her red table and talk about how great her relationship is? How well she knows herself, how well she knows her husband, how well she knows her kids. Why do they have to elevate their relationship? They're not getting paid. I mean, I guess the red table makes her money, but what's the driver to be so insincere about what's happening in your personal life?
Well, I mean, I feel like that's just Instagram. I feel like everyone is having more fun than me on Instagram. And so, I feel like it's the same feeling. They want to project what's really great, but they're not going to show you, their skeletons. And so, that could have been on her mind. And so, I'm having this wild affair, but I'm going to tell the world in case there's any weird rumors out there that, Will's the man or whatever.
Just in case
people are wondering if there is a rumor to,
Well, what I didn't say when I posted the video, and I guess what I wanted to say here is I am, the more I think about it, the more frustrated I am with Jada's response to the whole thing. Sorry, our dog is walking around in the background. The more frustrated I am with Jada's response to the whole thing, which is to say, that's behind me. And because I did that, I learned a really valuable lesson. And this lesson is really shocking. You don't find satisfaction outside of yourself, you find it inside of yourself. It feels like that's the lesson that we're teaching kids when they're like 12, right? When you're in 6th grade, you have that discussion. And I feel like she's just using that platitude to explain this behavior in trying, there's this need for her to sort of tie a bow around it and say, look, that was me back then, but we're much better now, and that's never going to happen again, and that's not how our relationship is. And the reality is, they've been rumored to have an open marriage. I think they do have an open marriage. I don't care if they have an open marriage. But clearly they've had some bad times, and clearly they're still having some bad times. So I don't understand why she has to, why can't she just say, yeah, we're having a hard time. We all have hard times, and we're going to get through it. Why does she have to say, that was in the past, we're perfect now, I've really learned, and now I'm a healthy, full, happy person? It's just all bullshit.
But maybe she thinks that that's who she is right now. Like, maybe she does feel like, oh, it's amazing, like, now I know. And then tomorrow. I feel like people's feelings are fleeting on how they're doing. Don't you feel like that? I know mine are. Some days I feel like things are going great. And then other days, my toddler hits me and it just makes me cry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I honestly, I did not even think for a second that it was sincere on her part. But so I appreciate, but that's a good, maybe that is really how, maybe she really thinks, maybe she's really convinced herself because she had this illicit affair, which by the way happened like 4 years ago. It's just coming out because August talked about it in an interview. But maybe she really believes that time separating from Will, hooking up with August, maybe she really believes it made her a better person. I
don't know. I just like, they're just really, I mean, beautiful people, both.
Why do you keep saying they're beautiful people?
Because Jada is so beautiful. She probably has people like knocking down her door constantly.
Oh. True, I guess that's true.
Will wasn't paying attention to her like for a couple of months. Like he was off doing Men in Black or something, and she was like, "Oh, I need some attention. Who should I call?" You know, I don't.
The local 25-year-old.
Very virile.
Yeah, that's true. God, I feel so bad for Will. All right, what did you want to talk about? I thought you looked like you brought a list.
I did, and actually that story is boring to me, so I'm glad we're moving on.
Oh.
Okay. I would like to talk about an important topic for you and me, which is apologizing.
That's important for me and you?
Yeah, because I don't like the way you apologize. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about.
Okay, this is not supposed to turn into a "What's Wrong with David" podcast. Okay, all right, go ahead.
I thought we could talk about Gary Chapman's book, The Apology Languages.
Okay, I have
Do you know what
read that.
You have not read it.
I have not read. I mean, I know of the book, but I have no idea what's in the book.
Well, what do you think? Why? Okay, then let's go deeper.
So why don't you describe what it's in it?
Well, the book is similar to the 5 love languages. It's called, he's had 2 titles for it. So he's had the 5 apology languages, and then he had When Sorry's Not Enough. And I apologize, I don't know the co-author's name. It's another PhD. But they talk about how everyone has their language that they need to be apologized with, or have an apology in, I didn't say that right, but how they need to be apologized to. And some people just need, I'm sorry, and other people need, and I'll tell you what I need, because I don't know all of the languages, but what I need is you to say, I'm sorry, let me tell you what I did, and let me tell you how I hurt you.
Are there people that need less of an apology than that?
Yeah, you. You just need straight, I'm sorry. You don't need, like, what I did and why.
Well, I think I would appreciate it, what I did and why.
But do you need it like I need it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Well, so what do you think about that? Do you agree with Dr. Chapman?
Okay, I haven't read the book, but what I assume the book is about, which is the sort of look, the 5 love languages. So, and I have done a video on this, so you can check it out. The 5 love languages, and I imagine the 5 apology languages, it's really about you as an individual in a relationship taking the time to figure out how your partner receives love or how your partner receives an apology. It doesn't really matter what the 5 love languages are or what the specific apology languages are. I think what matters is that you're burning the calories trying to figure out what your partner needs and then giving them that. So it's about intentionality. And so I think absolutely that people need to hear things in a different way, and it's your job in a relationship to try and figure that out. And so certainly, I'm half kidding when I would love it. I would like a more robust apology when I feel like I've been slighted, but it is true that you probably require more in that area than I do.
So could you up your game?
I feel like my game is about as up as it's going to get. But so let me just say this.
Telling you, I feel like to a marriage and family therapist, I am telling you what I need. So you should be like, oh yeah, I could
first of all, I'm not a
that.
marriage and family therapist. It used to be, and I have the degree, but it's been maybe 6 years ago. I was a lot better in the apology department.
You need to go back to your roots, okay?
Okay, but I think this is important to say that if in any relationship you feel like somebody is sort of circling the drain with you, like just going around and just perseverating or ruminating on some issue over and over and over again, right? If you've said sorry, if I say sorry to my wife about not doing the dishes and she doubles down and tells me that she's still mad at me, and I say I'm sorry again, and then she doubles down again, and then I say I'm sorry again and she doubles down, I will get frustrated because it doesn't feel like she's accepting my apology. What I need to listen to, or what I need to be aware of, is people that say things or ask for things more than once are doing it because they don't feel understood. I guarantee you in this book, what he's really getting at is how do you say an apology in a way that the person you're giving it to really understands that you get it and that you're sorry. People need to know that you really understand it. When people feel understood, they stop being upset. They stop wanting to talk about it. When people are circling the drain, like I'm doing to say it again and again, it's because they don't feel understood. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's a good answer.
I like how at the end you're like, that was a good answer. That topic I didn't like. That one it's like I have like a...
But don't you think I should rate them? Because sometimes you're not that great, right?
You're right. Very rarely.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what do you got there?
So I want to talk about self-sabotage because I feel like I've had friends lately that are sabotaging their relationships that are good. Whether it's by doing something to sabotage it or saying something to sabotage it. What is happening? Why are people sabotaging their And then I've also had someone that got their dream job and then sabotaged themselves too. And both good people, but why are they doing it?
Can you give like a little bit more detail? Or are you trying to
protect the witness?
Protect the witness.
No.
Protect the innocent.
Yeah. So I feel like in a relationship, everything is going great, and they have to do something to damage the relationship. So
they have to do something to damage.
They destroy the relationship.
Like you're trying them cheating, or they're not calling the person like what?
Like lying. They will lie and get caught, but very. And
you think it's intentional?
Yeah.
So the reason why, I feel like the idea of self-sabotage gets overused.
Oh.
And it's like this bucket term of I'm a self-sabotager, and here's all the times in which I've self-sabotaged. But self-sabotage to me feels like it's pretty intentional, and so we have to sort of separate, like, is that self-sabotage just you engaging in do you have bad habits? So for example, if someone's someone's a drinker and they're drinking and that drinking ruins their relationships, you could say, well, you're self-sabotaging, but I don't know if it's intentionally self-sabotage. When I think about self-sabotage, I think about somebody being uncomfortable or anxious about the unknown, and that unknown, usually in the case of self-sabotage, is something good, right? So I'm uncomfortable with what my career could look like if things go really well, so I'm going to undermine that by turning things in, late, or doing a half-assed job, or whatever. I can derail the future to sort of sit in a place that's comfortable for me. You could also self-sabotage, which is like the typical high school student, doesn't want to feel bad for failing, so they just do a shitty job, on their work, so that they can tell themselves, well, I could have been something great if I had tried. They never, they're not putting themselves out there. I feel like it falls in different...
Like scared to fail.
Yeah, it's scared. There's different reasons, and I think self-sabotage looks differently. So I don't know, like the friend you're talking about that's lying, I would wonder, like, I really have no idea who the friend is you're talking about, but are they doing it because they don't want to be in that relationship? Do they like somebody else? Are they worried that they're going to get broken up with, and so they're trying to derail it before? I don't know but it's some kind of, in general, I would argue it's some kind of self-protective mechanism, or just a really bad habit. Like, there are a lot of people that I work with as an executive coach who I don't think they are self-sabotaging. I just don't think they know what excellent looks like, and so their work is not excellent. Their performance, their ability to execute is not excellent. It's not excellent, so they don't make it to that next level. I don't know if it's self-sabotage. It's just they don't see what it would look like, what it could be, how they should work.
I think habits. That's an interesting point that you bring up, because I feel like that could be like the self-sabotage in like the emotional eating arena, whereas people like think that they're they like go in to like have a cookie or a potato chip, but then they end up going crazy, and then just like, well, I ate a potato chip, so then like I might as well eat an entire pizza. And I feel like is that self-sabotage, or is that just bad habits?
Yeah, I think overeating and undereating both. I mean, that's like a very complicated issue or challenge. It's very difficult to treat. Like, especially the person whose identity is wrapped up in what they look like, big or small. If you're the overweight, funny person, right? If you're Chris Farley and you lose all that weight, who are you? Your identity has been so tied into what you look like. And so there are reasons that you wouldn't really think. Like, you would think, why would Chris Farley not want to lose why would the head person not want to lose the weight? But as they lose the weight, and what I have seen, which is fascinating, is when you do see someone losing weight, they will grieve and experience the emotions that they experienced when they were that weight the last time. Like when
on my 600-pound life.
I don't know. Does that happen in that show?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I cannot watch that show.
Okay.
That's a depressing show.
It is sad.
But anyway, if somebody felt rejected at prom when they were 250 pounds and 17, if they get down to 250 pounds and they're 34, they're going to experience that same level of rejection and see themselves the same way. And so you really are grieving in a very unique way. It's fascinating and sad.
Do you think it happens more with women? Because, like...
Eating disorders?
No, not just, like, our identities being wrapped up in weight. For
sure.
Yeah.
I don't have any data around that, but for sure.
I think you need to come up with a way to stop that, because that's, I feel like, very prevalent.
I'd be a very wealthy man if I could
figure it out.
Okay, I'll get to work. I'll get to work right away.
Okay, so I have another question that I'm experiencing right now.
But I feel like we're back to you asking me questions and we're not having like a conversation about it. So what do you think about the weight loss piece?
Well, I was trying to think is it a habit or if it's self-sabotage? Like they know it's bad, and I feel like, every person can get in this cycle, so it's not it's all of us. But I think like it just keeps, like, one thing keeps leading to another, and I don't know if it's self-sabotage or like a weird habit circle.
Well, and it feels good. If you're talking about overeating,
it feels good for like 5 seconds, and then you want to kill it. Then you get all depressy, and your body doesn't feel right, and then you have to do it again to get the like little bit of high, and then.
But think how many things in life are like that we as humans pursue because they feel good for like just a moment.
Yeah, we need to stop that.
Why don't you solve that problem? You should take that on.
Okay. All right, next question. You did okay on that one.
Fair amendment.
Yep. Let's talk about the current Groundhog Day of COVID and how to make it not feel like Groundhog's Day every day.
Well, I think you've done a really good job. For Allison and me, I'm pretty comfortable with like the same thing every single day. I'm pretty boring, and I'm like happy just working in the basement all day. And Allison likes more variety, and I feel like you've done a really good job on the weekends and every afternoon when we get the kids. I feel like you've been consistent about having fun things for us to do. We go camping almost every weekend. We go to the park, go rollerblading or fishing, I feel like you've been really good about setting that up.
Thanks. I'm glad you noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's big points. Now I don't have to, that saves me an apology.
I'm trying to like camping more. So I feel like I'm a novice, and there's a lot of bugs. Yeah, I'm a city slicker, and there's a lot of bugs.
Here's the thing: is I've noticed that you're you're a city girl, and then you're judgmental about me and not being like the mountain man. Like you're always expecting me to be a little bit more comfortable in the woods than I am.
Well, you know how before you get married, like I think you talked about this, but basically I got to know your spokesperson.
Yeah.
And
my spokesperson.
Your spokesperson was very planner oriented, would plan things.
Yeah.
Plan things like backpacking trips and camping trips.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the real David, not so much.
Okay, that's true. What does that have to do with me not being outdoorsy?
You're not.
Why not? Why are you disappointed?
We went camping and he forgot a lighter, guys. A lighter. I did drive 2 hours basically to get us.
You did not have to drive 2 hours.
I had to drive all the way back down the national park. Okay, 1 hour 35.
I may have forgotten the lighter. We all have room to grow.
Yes. Those are all the questions I have. Do you have any for me that you think would be interesting?
Did you hear that Kanye West is running for president?
I want to know if his teeth are diamonds.
Okay, so here are the so in the sort of internet, in the interwebs, here's what people are saying. Either he's nuts.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we should talk about Rachel Hollis.
Yes.
But let's just Kanye really quick. Either he's nuts. Maybe he's working with Trump to try and split the black vote and, prevent Biden from getting the black vote and then allowing Trump to win. Or he just had an album come out and maybe it's just all trying to get media for his newest album. Did you ever thought about that? Or
he really thinks what's going on in the world is bananas and thinks he can do better. Do you know that I think that's what he's saying. Because I feel like that's what Trump did. Like, Trump was like, this is bananas. I can do better. But then, I'm not sure. And then,
but he did get elected.
He would, and he was out of, the system of, the systemic politician.
He was draining the swamp.
He drained the swamp and maybe brought in... Yeah. What's another word for swamp? I was trying to think of... He brought in a different funk.
We have a quagmire that we're in.
And so I wonder if Kanye I feel like people like Kanye and Kim Kardashian and people like Trump and actually anybody that wants to be a president, they're very confident in their decision-making abilities. And so I thought Trump was doing it as a publicity stunt, honestly, before he did it. And then he did it. And I think... you have to have that confidence, because I mean, people are going to tear you apart, and I kind of think Kanye maybe thinks he could do better. That's what I think.
He's gonna model it after Wakanda from the movie The Black Panther.
I haven't seen that, so I can't.
I didn't hear him say that, I just read that, but I believe that is what he hasn't thought about the taxes yet. So he seems like it's a little bit half-cocked to me, but whatever. All right, so what do you think about Rachel Hollis? So Allison, I'm out of the Rachel Hollis game, but Allison still follows, you don't follow Dave, but you do follow Rachel, and you get her like weekly
I
news.
try not to follow Dave, because I find him, for me right now, I liked him a lot. We are not in a good place.
You and Dave are in a difficult season.
We are in a difficult season right now. Because like honestly, I bought his book when it came out and read it, and then like 2 weeks later, and it's all about like Rachel, and then 2 weeks later, after I bought the book and read it, and I was gonna go to his book tour, they got divorced. I found that fascinating, and yeah, I have been following Rachel, and I was just wondering what you thought about her tip.
No, I brought it up. What do you think? You're the one who's watching her.
I feel like her tips have been good. Still, it's still like really weird to me. Like she keeps talking about how hard it is, and I believe her. But she's never lived alone since she was 19 years old. So now she bought a house and moved in and had to get all new furniture, and she got a dog because she was lonely in her house. But I am like, I still am. I don't know. Like it's like people are like, oh, like everyone gets divorced and everyone's human. But the struggle for me is that like that wasn't the image that you showed the world. Like you showed the world that if you were intentional about your relationships and like put it above all else, then like it, and so I still struggle with that piece of it, but I haven't deleted her.
You struggle because you feel like she's
I got our money back for the run though. We're not doing the run.
We were going to do a run in December, right? With
Yeah.
her like in Austin or something. But but what you're saying, I think, is that she lied to you. She lied. She knew she was lying. They both did.
Yeah, I think they probably did.
I don't know how that.
But I
feel like there's debate
about.
I feel like there's like debate about did they lie about it, and it's like they for sure lied. I don't know if that's. There's no question that they misrepresented their relationship for the last, let's just call it 3 months. Like you can't deny that, and probably for a lot longer than that. I feel like
Or do you think that they're impulsive? I've been weighing this back and forth. Like, did they impulsively make this decision and then never got an off ramp because we're in the middle of a crisis? Because like all the way leading up, they went and did like a ceremony in Ireland for their love for their 16-year anniversary. Like not that long, like 6 months ago.
Don't you think that those kinds of things are performative?
Yeah.
Like, did they really? So 16 years?
Or 18 or something. I don't know.
So it wasn't 10 or it wasn't 20. Like it seems like
No. It was 15 years. Maybe
Okay,
this year's their 16th.
Oh, okay. Well, then that maybe it's more of a milestone. I still think. I mean, just come on. I have a hard time thinking that these are they ran an empire. The impact of this is not a let's just swing by the courthouse and get a divorce because I'm pissed at you right now. It's a huge deal. I have a hard time with it was an impulsive, everybody keeps saying online, they read Glennon Doyle's book.
Oh, Untamed?
Untamed, and then got derailed because the book derailed them. I mean, it just seems like such a
I'd like
drastic...
to talk about that book. Did anyone else get depressed reading that?
I can't. I tried to read it. Everybody said read it, so I tried. I read like 70 pages, and that's all that I could take.
But all these great authors are like saying how great it is. Like Jen Hatmaker loved it. Brene Brown loved it. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Because there's no comic relief in this book. It is all Debbie Downer.
That is those people are deeper than I am. And I don't want to go that deep. Like I don't like it. Just there was so much angst and discomfort, and I think some people like to can relate to, and they like to feel that, and so those kinds of books sort of scratch that itch. I think it's also normalizing if you're in a place of distress to read that book and see other people or hear about other people's struggle. It feels good, but like for me, I just want to. I mean, I do a YouTube thing, and it's going to be pop psychology because I want it to be fun. Like I'm not looking for distress in my life, and that book was distressing. I did not find it enjoyable.
So I agree with you that I like to read fun, but I also like to read things like that for growth purposes, which is why I read Brene Brown and Jen Hatmaker. But something about the voice in that book, like I couldn't get anything positive, like to make. That sounds so selfish, but like I wanted to take a learning from Glennon Doyle and be like, oh, this is positive. I feel positive. Like this is gonna change my life and others for the better. And I just was not getting that from that. I got a lot of. I'm not sure what I got from that.
So is her name Glenna or Glennon? I can never remember her name.
I think it's Glennon.
You got a lot of her. This is her third memoir?
Yeah, and she's like my age. So she's got
so this is somebody, I don't want to, it feels like it's a lot of Glennon. Like it's a lot of,
it was
it's a
heavy
lot of
Glennon.
her. It's
heavy
heavy her. And I think that is how, I think her book would tell you that she's experienced a lot of distress in her life, and I think for her to write it down and turn it into a narrative is a very healthy way for her to give her life purpose. That's, I think, that's what a therapist would do. That's what a therapist does, is says, okay, so you've been through these traumas, like what does it mean? Like tell a story about through your life where that makes sense, and you can be proud of what that narrative looks like. I just don't want to read her narrative, but I think it's really healthy and good for her. But I found her narrative depressing and, I mean, by definition, self-centered, but sort of not interesting enough for me to put up with. I'm in the gym listening to that book and I'm getting depressed. I'm like, I just can't.
So, okay, then let's stop here because I think you would not like that book, but like it is on the bestseller list. There is a lot of people that like that book. Why do they like it so much? Because I missed the boat. I wanted to like it.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't make that list. Well, I should
we need to ask people. Like a lot of really smart, funny people liked it.
I'm gonna make for our YouTube channel, we should make a book club of like fun books. But I think that I think that the Oprah and is it Reese Witherspoon that has one? I think there is I think those type of people like the deep emotion. The more sort of traumatic, the more trying, the more tortured the person can be in the book. I think that there's an allure to look at the depth versus, a lot of society, a lot of what people are interested in is just sort of platitudes and sort of superficial stuff. And so these books they differentiate themselves. I just think they're excruciating, but I think that's the
yeah. Well, anyway, back to Rachel Hollis. I hope that wasn't the reason her and Dave got divorced.
Yeah, that would be a very stupid reason to get divorced.
Yeah. She does talk about, I think about Glennon Doyle, how when she met what's her wife's name now? The soccer star?
I can't remember.
You were talking about what a awesome soccer player she was.
She was. I mean, I can picture her, but I can't remember what her name is.
Dang it. Okay. Well, she was talking about how, like, when she met her, like, she tingled and she knew.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a lesbian before that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just this person, right time, right place. all the tingles, all the feels.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Okay.
Do you buy that?
Well, no. I mean, I was feeling like, what? Like that happens? Like someone comes
Wait,
in.
that didn't happen when you saw me?
Well, it did, but I was.
It did. Good. Yeah, good.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Just to let you know, this format is going on a podcast, so you can catch it on Shrink Wrapped on wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcaster, all of them.
Google Podcast, right? Does Google have a podcast?
They're wherever you get
It's
them.
everywhere.
And then also like and subscribe. If you have questions that you want David to answer, please send them, put them in the comments, or you can go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, just put them in the comments.
We also in the comments let us know if you like this longer form. This was 35 minutes. If you like this longer form, or if you preferred the more kind of brief shotgun question answer format. We're just trying to figure out what people are most interested in. All right, thank you.